Josh Fluke says, do not go to Trilogy Education Services. The reason why he says this is because they have no guarantee to give you a job once the boot camp is over. I disagree with him because, not to be biased or anything, I attended Trilogy Education Services and it was a great experience for me. So I'm going to go into that. Definitely wasn't a perfect experience, but it was overall a good one. I had a little bit of some communication issues with the staff before the boot camp started with some money. So that was one of the negatives. Another one was not having enough tutors in the class, I thought, because I was one of the students that like used the tutors the most out of the class. So there were two, and I would have liked to have 3 or 4, just because sometimes there wasn't enough help to go around. During the week, we would have our solo class, and then on Saturdays, the classes would combine with another. So there was another class, and it would combine with ours, and then so the tutors would double there. But just sometimes there wasn't enough help to go around when it was really needed, so that was the second negative. And this help was really needed because the homework assignments, that was the hardest part of the boot camp in my opinion. The homework assignments and the group projects, because they really just throw you into it with, a few weeks preparation, and you have to create a hangman game the 4th week of the boot camp. So how are you going to do that? How are you going to build a boot camp? Or not a boot camp, a hangman game. So I just went on YouTube and looked up tutorials. Pretty basic, right? Went from there, built what I could, took it into class, had the tutors help me with touching it up. Another thing is that Trilogy Education really wants to get paid, so they accept, a lot, almost any applicant. So you might come across you might have some peers in the class that, just aren't really on the same level as you. So you'll deal with smarter people and you'll deal with dumber people for sure. So I paid $9,000 for my attendance for 6 months at Trilogy Education, and I paid $9,000 because I paid that in full early. So if I hadn't done that, it would have been an extra $1,000 or $2,000 on top of that. So I got the best cut of the deal. But what's most important with these boot camps, obviously, is the stuff they're teaching you and how they're teaching it to you. So there was completely nothing wrong at all with the material that they gave. It was right on point, up to date with the latest technologies, frameworks, and tools. MERN Stack, Mongo, Express, React, Node, and they even give you some other languages, to Laravel, to Django, just a small chapter of that once that's all said and done. So the main focus is to teach you a full stack application. I've mentioned this. You've heard this in other YouTube videos as well. It doesn't really focus too much on computer science concepts and data structures, but data structures is what JavaScript is basically made out of. So you are learning data structures. Who cares? I don't care if they tag their name onto universities to make them look good. Hey, it worked for me. It works for them. It seems like their business is going fine. So, you know what? If it's convenient for you, you think you can manage it, you plan it all out, and it sounds like a good deal, then go for it. Absolutely. Then go for it. So, the material you're learning, there's no faults or anything wrong with what you're learning. But most bootcamp students do want a job when they graduate. So my case is I knew somebody who got me an internship. I still have it. It was right after my boot camp ended. There was one other kid who I worked with, and he's like 1 year older than me. I'm 27, and he got a job as well. And he was actually in my group project, and he and I hit it off pretty well. But as regards to the rest of the class, I really don't know how many students got jobs afterwards. Like, my guess is there's like 35 to 40 students in my class, and probably like 10 got jobs at the max. Like, 7, 8. That would be my guess. I could be totally wrong. Could be half the class. Could be, you get it. Yeah, that's not a very good percentage of students getting work after, if I had to guess how many students got work. But hey, you know what? At the end of the day, what it comes down to is the code. So go ahead and attend other boot camps if you think there are other opportunities out there, but you got to do your research. Trilogy Education Services is out there, ready to go. I loved my instructor. Met some really cool people through that boot camp. It was a great experience. I wouldn't trade it for anything. You really got to make the most out of it. You really have to prepare, because I remember one of the students at the end was like, God, I just wish, we could do it over again. You're really shit out of luck. So there are parts I wish I could do over again, but I still have all the material from the boot camp for life. So I go back and reference it, and it's really cool. It's like it sticks with you. Yeah, obviously they don't room and board you. I mean, maybe some Trilogy Education experiences do, but not the one I did. I just commuted 20 minutes from where I live in Sacramento, California. So overall, out of the $9,000 I paid, I networked with probably, close to 80 people to 100 people and learned a full stack application. So hey, maybe that's like a $5,000 estimate, but Trilogy Education Services is doing a good service, so they're fine. Oh, one more thing. So yeah, that's my response to Josh Fluke. The dude is a really hard worker. I really respect that guy a lot. You should go follow him. Yep. And follow me too. Peace.